And every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
He is not Derrick Henry. He is not one of those special backs in that sense. A really good one that's been outstanding in fantasy for quite some time. But you can also hear the buzz recently about it being more of a split backfield. And if that's so, then Aaron Jones' value takes a hit, Jordan Mason's value goes up, and there's an opportunity at some point if Aaron Jones misses time where you can see Jordan Mason take that backfield over.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
It's a safe shot, pin high left with a 6-iron. And then this is where JJ enters the fray again and hits this like slice 5-iron. That was just, I mean, it curved probably a good, 30, 40 feet, almost flies in the hole. And it was just a crazy shot because nobody would ever really try to hit that type of slider.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
An HRR, parlay, a combo that you want to do. I generally prefer away teams and players that hit at the top of the lineup or in the top half, just because you are guaranteed just that extra plate appearance here or there. How many times, throughout the season, I've been like, listen, if this guy gets on, he will have one more at bat in the 9th inning. And if he doesn't get there, he doesn't get there. If you just take them that place higher, they're going to be in a spot to cash that bag.
Pro baseball today, only on SportsGrid.
It's a Monday, and it's time to rise and grind right here on the early line. My goodness, what an action-packed weekend we just had across the NFL and Major League Baseball landscapes. But I have to say this, people, we finally made it. It truly is game week in football. Hey, Donnie, we've been watching preseason football. Yeah, that's all fine and good. But this week, records will count in college football. Week 0 is upon us, and I'm excited for that. But my goodness, you had teams this weekend looking to win 15 games in a row in Major League Baseball. They weren't able to do that. You have trade requests that are coming in as teams are showing up to training camp. We're grinding here until we get to week number 1 of the NFL season, which includes the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Donnie Rightside, Joe Ranieri, the early line, the SportsGrid Network, Monday morning. It's the place to be, Joe.
Hard to believe that we are at that point, Donnie. Well, all that time we waited, and football is back. It's kind of a surreal moment here. We thought it would never show up, but get ready. Here it comes. College and NFL right around the corner.
All eyes on the prize. We will get you ready for everything you need to know throughout your SportsGrid day today, and also, more importantly, the week that's coming up ahead, as we just stated, Saturday, college football week 0, and away we go into the regular season. But, Joe, it's time for the hottest topics across that sports landscape, and it starts in the 7-7, and that's with Cincinnati. I don't know if this is a hot topic or not, because we're going to flash a tweet up here right now from Ian Rappaport, which you could just reuse this at any given time. We didn't think there was a problem here with Trey Hendricks. They're not even talking to me. I don't want to be here. Make a trade request for me. Okay, you can go do that in the offseason. So Trey Hendricks puts that in, and they go, okay, Trey. Yeah, we wanted 3 first-rounders for you. We're just going to sit you here. So he comes to camp, doesn't want to get fined, and now all of a sudden, Joe, he wants out again. The Bengals like, okay, we'll try to work out a trade. They're not working out any trade for this guy. Who are we kidding?
It's just the most ridiculous. It's so Bengals, it's not even funny here, because quite honestly, if you were going to do this, you should have done it before the draft. You could have cleared house. Guys would have given you the moon for it. But now, now you're kind of stuck in a situation where there's only a handful of teams that can actually afford him, including, by the way, the Detroit Lions, which would be very interesting since they have all the cap space. But I mean, it's just you have bungled it from the beginning, Bengals, and here we are now dealing with trade requests 2 weeks out from the start of the season. You can't make this up.
Yeah, we're going to speak on this a little bit more in the next segment here, but just to leave off until we get there, it's like, all right, Cincinnati Bengals, boy, we love this guy. We want 3 first-rounders for this guy. Why don't you just sign the guy if you think he's that good? Jeez, man. I mean, next topic up on the bot, it's the Chicago Bears. Oh, Joe, come on now. You were telling me you weren't feeling the Bears. You got to be feeling the Bears now. Caleb Williams and the boys rise and shine 38-0 over the Bills. The Bills are supposed to win the Super Bowl. That's 38-0, Joe. Buy in now.
Yeah, no, honestly, I mean, listen, as long as the Bears play the third stringers of every team the rest of the way, I think they're going to be undefeated. I think if you roll your starters out against anybody's third stringers, you're going to look pretty good. And, as a side note, the Bills also lost 33-6 to the Bears last preseason. So, yeah, but good luck. Let's see how that works out for you when there's actual starters on the field.
Look, that team was looking good in one of the ugliest stadiums to ever come to fruition here in the NFL. 38-0, we're on our way in Chicago. I don't know what we're on our way to in New Orleans, but at least they got a tie in the preseason. Week number 1, lost. Week number 2, got a tie there. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the New Orleans Saints, 17-17. Tyler Shuck in a battle with Spencer Rattler to start game number 1. Yeah, I don't know if things are going to go that well for the Saints. But on Jacksonville's side, how about Trevor Lawrence? 8 of 10 and a tutty to start that game. All right, Jacksonville.
Well, yeah, Jacksonville actually kept their starters in for the first couple of series there, and Trevor looked very good. And no Hunter, though, on either side of the ball. They held him out, which is going to be interesting to see what they do the rest of the way with him. But the Saints are a terrible football team, Donnie, like on so many different levels. Just watching that game yesterday was a bit nauseating. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure how many games the Saints are winning in legit fashion here this year. It could be a very ugly tank for a quarterback season for the New Orleans Saints.
It's got to be tough to be a fan, to be honest. Like, hey, I want to get excited for the Saints season, but based on what here? That is going to be a long season for those New Orleans Saints here. Let's go over to Major League Baseball. I mean, my goodness, you go into the 9th inning yesterday, 2 runs plated for the Milwaukee Brewers. They're going to win 15 in a row. Not so fast. The Cincinnati Reds tied up in the bottom of the 9th and win it in the bottom of the 10th inning to stop that 14-game win streak for the Milwaukee Brewers that it looked like they were going to pull another rabbit out of a hat.
I'm sorry, but that was just hilarious. The whole weekend watching the Brewers beat the Reds was absolutely hilarious. And then it finally came down to, Donnie, even a 1-0 game with, once again, the Reds bullpen coming in to close it in the top of the 9th. They can't do it. They give up a 2-run home run, and they were losing 2-1 heading into the bottom of the 9th, and they had to win it in extras simply because the Brewers refused to bring in anybody else from their bullpen. They were just like, nope, we're good, win or lose. They brought a guy in who's never saved a game, has only pitched sparingly. They were like, listen, if you win, you win. We're out of here. We got another series we got to worry about.
Yeah, yesterday on the Pro Baseball Today show, this was my underdog play of the day. It was plus 101 early in the morning, and the steam came in on the Cincinnati Reds. Like, wait, I don't understand. One team won 14 games in a row. You don't have an ace on the mound. They end up pulling that game out here, and it looks like the Brewers were going to win it. Fun stuff here. They got a 5-game set. Talking about the Brewers with the Cubs this week. That should be a fun one to watch. And how about this? Oh, we're in second place. Woe is us. 3 straight wins later. The Los Angeles Dodgers back in first place. Sweeping the San Diego Padres with a 5-4 win yesterday.
Just when you thought it was safe to trust the Padres. Yeah, nope. Padres can't get it done on the big stage. Listen, it's always been their bugaboo. Can't get past the Dodgers. Well, if you can't get past the Dodgers, then you're not winning anything. And that's the problem right now. And I'll go back to it. There's one team in the National League that has shown they are not afraid of the Dodgers, and it's not the Padres.
How about this one yesterday in Little League town, Williamsport? 10 total runs were scored there yesterday. 7 by the New York Mets in a 7-3 victory over the Seattle Mariners. George Kirby, who analytics love, they didn't love him so much yesterday. 4 2/3 innings pitched, 12 hits, 7 earned runs given up, and only 3 strikeouts here. Clay Holmes was the deal. 5 innings, 1 earned run given up. The Mets with a much-needed victory to stay trying pace to pace with the Philadelphia Phillies. Good win.
Listen, I'm not a big fan of some of the other PR moves that, like playing a baseball game at like a NASCAR stadium and those kinds of things. playing in the middle of a cornfield. Yeah, okay. But I gotta hand it to Major League Baseball. That last night at Williamsport, they've been doing it for a couple of years. They nailed it. That was spot on. Seeing absolutely nobody but kids behind home plate watching their favorite baseball players I'm all for that, Donnie. They should do more of that.
Yeah. No Marlins man behind home plate.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
Areas, right? You know, keep those guys out of Williamsport. Let the kids have some fun, and they did. The BMW Championship yesterday, Scotty Scheffler won, and I'm saying this right now: the worst spent money in the history of professional sports is the stupid playoff the PJ's having. Once again, Joe, I didn't watch a single stroke of this tournament. Why? Because it doesn't matter. Did you watch? Did you enjoy? I could care less.
Donnie, you are missing fantastic, and I mean fantastic human emotion.
No.
There was nothing like watching the two guys tee off together. Scotty Scheffler on the first hole down 4 strokes to start Sunday, and the guy he played with, Bobby Mack, literally had a nervous breakdown the entire round, and by the time they got to the 4th hole, he was losing by a stroke. It was... You think Tommy Fleetwood's a train wreck? You should have seen what this poor guy went through yesterday playing with him.
Yeah, you know what I want to say in this too? Like, the winner gets the entire pot of earnings here. Like, it was 20, like you get 20 million and nobody else gets a paycheck. Hey, Goff, you want to have us invested? Nobody gets paid but the winner. You want to talk about sensational golf? That brings it out there. You're not going to hear Scotty Scheffler go, oh, what was me? I don't like golf anymore. Congratulations, second place, first loser. You got nothing. Next up here, let's go. 4 topics.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
He is not Derrick Henry. He is not one of those special backs in that sense. A really good one that's been outstanding in fantasy for quite some time. But you can also hear the buzz recently about it being more of a split backfield. And if that's so, then Aaron Jones' value takes a hit, Jordan Mason's value goes up, and there's an opportunity at some point, if Aaron Jones misses time, where you can see Jordan Mason take that backfield over.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
It's a safe shot, pin high left with a 6-iron. And then this is where JJ enters the fray again and hits this like slice 5-iron. That was just, I mean, it curved probably a good, 30, 40 feet, almost flies in the hole. And it was just a crazy shot because nobody would ever really try to hit that type of slider.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
An HRR, parlay a combo that you want to do. I generally prefer away teams and players that hit at the top of the lineup or in the top half, just because you are guaranteed just that extra plate appearance here or there. How many times, throughout the season, I've been like, listen, if this guy gets on, he will have one more at bat in the 9th inning, and if he doesn't get there, there. If you just take them that place higher, they're going to be in a spot to cash that bag.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Hour number 1 rolling along right here on the early line. It's a Monday here. I love a Monday. The action is high. Football is on this week. We cannot wait to get to the regular season in the NFL in week 0 in college football. But there's always some news and notes that come up where it just puts a smile on my face because I know it's devious sometimes, the thoughts that I get saying, Man, you could have seen things coming from a mile away. It's Joe Ranieri and Donnie Rightside. Let's dip back into the Bengals. One of my favorite teams to talk about over the past 2 years, not in the regular season, Joe, just in the offseason of how poorly this franchise is actually run. Ian Rappaport with the tweet yesterday. With contract talks at an impasse, the Bengals are listening to trade offers for perennial Pro Bowler Trey Hendrickson, per me and Tom Pelissero. It's unclear if the NFL sack leader will be playing elsewhere in 2025, and a trade will be a real challenge, but time will tell. You know it's not a real challenge? In the offseason, when he doesn't want to be here and you're trying to make a trade for him. Most people that say, okay, I have to sell a house or sell a car, let me put it out on the market, and I'll take the best deal that's available. Not saying, hey, I think we should sell my car. Oh, your car's worth $10,000. Great, let's put it up for $40,000. Huh? Nobody bought it. That's a shame. Looks like we'll have to keep it. That's not how you do business here. There is a market for a 30-year-old sack artist that could go to an organization that expects to win a championship that year and will pay you compensation for that. The way the Bengals have gone about this, Joe, it's disingenuous at every single turn. He's a great player. He wants more money. That's what great players do. Final year of a deal, they want more money. If you're not going to give it to them, somebody else will, and you can trade them and get compensation back. That's how business in the NFL works. Everything the Bengals are doing is backwards. Joe, they could have traded him 15 times in the offseason, got compensation back, hit the draft market here in the draft, and picked up a talented player who's younger and cheaper and went along with their business. Now we're led to believe they didn't trade him in the offseason, but you'll get nothing back for him right now except for draft compensation next year that you can't use this year, and you lose one of the best sack artists in the NFL. Joe, make it make sense to me, please.
2 words, the Bengals. That's what they do. That's what the Brown family does. It's what they've always done. Listen, we have all known since over 3 years, the minute they got Joe Burrow, right? We knew there was going to come a time where they were going to have to pay Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Trey Hendrickson. This was all going to happen within a couple of years, right? They had no choice but to give Burrow his money and his extension early, although they probably would have chose to try to drag that out as long as possible. But they dragged their feet on Jamar Chase. They dragged their feet on T. Higgins. And shocker, they're dragging their feet on Trey Hendrickson. Now, Chase and Higgins got their money, right? They got their extensions. But my goodness, Hendrickson, the guy that anchors the defense, he's not worth going above and beyond in a market, Donnie, that was reset in the offseason. Guys like Hendrickson are getting paid, period. The fact that he's going to be 30 years old is neither here nor there. If you want to have a championship defense, you need an edge rusher. You need an all-pro. That's what you have here. Pay the man. But nope, instead, we're going to pretend to field offers from teams who at this point, 2 weeks away from the season, Donnie, there's only a handful of teams who could even afford to sign him because he's going to want to go to a place, Donnie, that is going to give him an extension. So, I mean, what are we doing here? You talk about messing it up from the start. The Bengals are acting like they woke up yesterday and were like, oh, wait a minute, you mean we got to pay him? Oh, I didn't see this coming. Wait a minute, we got to figure some things out. Ridiculous.
You are right in your window where you feel you can have a championship because the offense is championship ready, the defense is bad. So the last thing you want to do is say, I'm going to get rid of one of the best sack artists in the NFL. But there's also a way of doing business and doing it the complete wrong way. If you say, look, we're not getting the trade offers back that we think that you are going to demand. We're not going to give you a super long-term deal. Trey, what's it going to take to get you on the football field this year? And I promise you, play this year, we'll give you a little bit more money. At the end of the year, we will just cut you loose and we'll see if, bygones be bygones and away you go. We're not going to get compensation. We want to try to win this year. But instead, you're going to try to trade him, make him angry, and not pay him here and see how that goes on a defense that needs all the help it can absolutely get. Jordan Schultz had a NFL report coming out, too. It's like the Panthers, the Browns, and the Colts are among teams that have shown interest in trading for the Bengals All-Pro. And to me, I even laughed at that. The Panthers are 5 years away from competing. The Colts have no idea who their quarterback is going to be. They're not competing for anything at this point here. And the Browns, their win total is 4.5. I wanted to see the Niners, the Eagles, the Cowboys. Give me somebody who has expectations of at least 8.5 wins or higher that's going to want to trade for a player like Trey Hendrickson. So I don't know where he's going at this point, but we could see this coming such a long time ago. You had them like draft night, Joe. If they moved them, I'm not saying they got a first-round pick and they probably wouldn't, but you know they probably would have got a 2 and a 3, which you could have drafted a defensive back, a linebacker, another edge rusher, and said, okay, we lost Trey. We don't have to pay him that contract. We have rookie salaries here. Let's move on. We think this will be better. But they botch it at every turn. Like, simple question. Are they a better football team without Trey Hendrickson? No, they're not.
No. And you can't, again, he's due $18 million this year. So any trade means, again, the team that's taking him on has got to be willing not only to confirm the $18 million to make sure they have enough cap space, but then they got to be willing to invest in him long term. I get the Colts because Lou Anarumo is former DC in Cincinnati, is now the DC at the Colts. But there's 2 teams, Donnie, that actually have the cap space that could really use them, that are exactly what you're talking about, contenders. One of them is Green Bay, who has $31 million remaining in cap space for this year. That would be an unbelievable get. And the other one is the Lions. The Lions have $40 million in available cap space still on the books. Wouldn't you like Aiden Hutchinson on one side and Trey Hendrickson on the other side if you're Detroit? Yeah, there are a handful of teams that could win a Super Bowl that would be more than happy to write the check, and the Bengals have missed the boat as usual.
They always miss the boat, and it's crazy. Like, you could have saved on those 2 wide receivers. You paid them a ton of money. Quarterbacks are quarterbacks. You're like, they're always going to reset the market immediately when they come up, regardless if they wait a year or 2 to sign their contract. But when you just look at the Hendrickson situation, it was so easy the way it could work out. And I always just get back to how the Bengals are approaching this. We want multiple first-round draft picks. That sounds like a guy that's worth $100 million in guarantees. Bengals does. Like, you're sending the wrong smoke signals up right now. If you're telling me you want multiple ones, but he's not worth more than $18 million a year, how do you even negotiate other deals at this point? It makes no sense. Say he's over the hill, we don't want to pay him, which means he's a 3rd-round pick that you're getting back. But don't tell everybody you want multiple ones when he's not worth $20 million a year. It makes no sense. I'll tell you what does make sense. Chicago Bears. Ooh, that offense. Talk about it next.
This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay. I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
He is not Derrick Henry. He is not one of those special backs in that sense. A really good one that's been outstanding in fantasy for quite some time. But you can also hear the buzz recently about it being more of a split backfield. And if that's so, then Aaron Jones' value takes a hit, Jordan Mason's value goes up, and there's an opportunity at some point, if Aaron Jones misses time, where you can see Jordan Mason take that backfield over.
Fantasy sports today, only on SportsGrid.
It's a safe shot, pin high left with a 6-iron. And then this is where JJ enters the fray again and hits this like slice 5-iron. That was just, I mean, it curved probably a good, 30, 40 feet, almost flies in the hole. And it was just a crazy shot because nobody would ever really try to hit that type of slider.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
An HRR, parlay, a combo that you want to do. I generally prefer away teams and players that hit at the top of the lineup or in the top half, just because you are guaranteed just that extra plate appearance here or there. How many times, throughout the season, I've been like, listen, if this guy gets on, he will have one more at bat in the 9th inning. And if he doesn't get there, he doesn't get there. If you just take them that's placed higher, you're going to be in a spot to cash that back.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Let's get down to brass tacks right here on the early line on a Monday morning edition right here on the Sports Grid Network. 38-0. That was the Chicago Bears over the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are 0-2. Should we be panicking right now that maybe the season where they expect to win a Super Bowl or being priced like Super Bowl contenders not going to be there? 28-0 at the break here. The Chicago Bears storm the field at Soldier Field and win this game easily. I know it's preseason, and I look at Mitchell Trubisky, Mike White, and Shane Buechele and say, where's Josh Allen? I look at the backfield, and it's Frank Gore Jr., not Frank Gore himself in the backfield. And you don't know the expectations of the Bills because they completely didn't show up nor care about that football game. I just wanted to take a look at the Chicago Bears. Liked what I saw on offense, liked what I saw at Caleb Williams, but it is tempered and it is measured because you're not going against starters. Nobody's game planning here. But it was a good look for the Chicago Bears, who last time they sort of tried to unveil Caleb, didn't work out so well. You can go back to the summer. It's like, hey, let's have a family practice at night at Soldier Field. Didn't work out so well. This one worked out pretty well right here, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if I'm a Bears fan, right? Hey, listen, this is maybe the best that you have seen Caleb Williams look. And of course, your hope was that Ben Johnson would be able to come in and point and get him back on track, right? So all good. I mean, it's all good. But the reality is you did it against the third stringers of the Buffalo Bills. Not one projected starter was on the field at any point for the Bills last night. And that's why they also finished with no first down conversions, 0 of 8 on third down, and 0 of 2 on fourth down. It was not a great showing by anybody on the Bills except one person. The Bills did have one MVP yesterday, and that had to be their punter. Because, my goodness, Donnie, he was on the field the entire damn game against the Bears. So, great job by the Bears. But again, you won 33-8 a year ago. That didn't really make a difference in the preseason. I doubt very much in 3 weeks anybody will remember this game even happened.
The Buffalo Bills had 12 first downs in that game. The Bears had 31. But you're right about this. Third down efficiency, Joe, 0 of 8 for the Buffalo Bills. Fourth down efficiency, 0 of 2. They ran 43 plays to the Bears, 83. They had 180 total yards. And by the way, the Bears had 528 total yards. This is where, like, sometimes the NFL and the fans, like, you just get kicked in the head. Now, the Bears were home yesterday, which rightfully so. They won 38-0. And, hey, it looks great, and we'll see how that projects into the regular season. But, like, if you're the Bills, like, clearly, like, we don't care about the preseason. Like, there was a time, Joe, where it was a little bit before my time, 6 and 8 preseason games, I believe, in the NFL just to get started because they wanted to sell extra tickets before the season got underway. But it's clear, like, hey, we have a game. And the Bills are like, do we really? Can we just get on the plane and get out of here? Because they got smoked last night, man. They really did.
Again, not good in any way, shape, or form. They did not show up. But again, the reality is there was not. We weren't even really talking backups last night. We were talking to the majority of the dudes trying to make the scout team, right? The practice squad, trying not to head back to the USFL. Those are the quality of players we were talking about on the Buffalo Bills on the field last night. So, hey, listen, but if you're Caleb Williams and you're the starters, you got a job to do, right? No matter who's on the other side.
Yep.
They went out, they executed. Great job. We got to see Colston Loveland, right? We got to see the new tight end there. And the offense looks good, but they've always looked good on paper, Donnie. They looked great last year on paper. But again, doing it against starters of other NFL teams remains to be seen.
Come on now. It was Trubisky back there. Don't you remember at one time Trubisky was a favorite to win possible an MVP for the Chicago Bears? Boy, oh boy. Sharps all over that one. I'll tell you who was sharp yesterday. Spencer Rattler, 18-24 for $199 and a touchdown. Also threw an interception, but a 17-17 tie between the Saints and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Shuck versus Rattler. Sometimes you have like a quarterback competition, like, okay, I wonder who's going to win this. Like, Justin Fields last year, Russell Wilson, like, hey, maybe we can get the playoffs with this guy. Does anybody care about Rattler versus Shuck? And by the way, if you are Tyler Shuck and you get beat up by Spencer Rattler, just admit, New Orleans, you made the wrong move right off the bat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I'll say this. I was very curious because, week 2, we saw the starters, Trevor Lawrence and company, play last week in week 1. I thought it was interesting that they were also coming out there and all the starters were playing again for Liam Cohn. So listen, new offense, new mind, new everything. And they are working the starters a lot here. And actually, they looked pretty darn good in that game yesterday.
I mean, cigarette sales got to be at an all-time high in Louisiana. Just people walking out their back like, my goodness, man, I need a break from this team. Let's talk more bad football quarterback situations right here on the early line.
You can't get thrown out like that. You just can't.
It's the only thing he's good at is yelling at umpires.
Yeah.
Other than that, he has no feel for the game, no grasp for the game, no idea how to manage a bullpen, no idea how to write up a lineup card. He certainly has no feel for high leverage spots and who to bring in. Devin Williams. There's nothing he does well other than scream and yell at the umpires.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Tigers aren't out of first place. They're still in first place, Tom, by 5 games over the Cleveland Guardians. But you see, like, last 10 games, Detroit Tigers 5-5. Last 10 games, Guardians. Winners of 9 of 11 games, winners of 5 straight games. They're only 5 back now than the Kansas City Royals, sitting at 8.5 back. The Detroit Tigers, so much fun this year, but now facing adversity with a month and a half left in the season.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
He is not Derrick Henry. He is not one of those special backs in that sense. A really good one that's been outstanding in fantasy for quite some time. But you can also hear the buzz recently about it being more of a split backfield. And if that's so, then Aaron Jones' value takes a hit, Jordan Mason's value goes up, and there's an opportunity at some point if Aaron Jones misses time where you can see Jordan Mason take that backfield over.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
The Yankees have an 80.7% chance of still making the playoffs. That just tells you that parity is alive and well in Major League Baseball, where mediocre teams can still make the playoffs, and the Yankees are mediocre but have above mediocre talent. So if they can put it together, you still got an 80% chance of playing postseason baseball.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Talking football here, NFL football, preseason edition here. And I got to tell you, Joe Ranieri, I hate the preseason, but I do get a kick out of sometimes when you see who the starters are and the battles for the starting quarterback jobs. Like just yesterday, the Indianapolis Colts, over the weekend, the Colts, Daniel Jones versus Anthony Richardson. We'll get to that in a second, but I love to see like the names sometimes that pop up in these games, like the Green Bay Packers, Taylor Elgersma, who's wearing, it looks like number 190, but it's 19 on offense because clearly he probably is going to make the football team. But also, some of these names pop up, they have to love it. Running back for the Indianapolis Colts, Ulysses Bentley IV. Sounds like he was serving in the Confederate Army back in the Civil War, Joe. I mean, that's a great name. That is a great name.
Especially for a running back, right? You know what I mean? Hand the ball off and just follow Ulysses Bentley III. Just keep going, man. Follow him in the battle. You're going to be good to go. I love that name.
By the way, we do get down to business, though, with Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. 7 of 11 for Daniel Jones. Anthony Richardson, 6 of 11. No touchdown passes between them. This just seems like a fight to the finish that's going to have no winners whatsoever, Joe, in Indy. Get excited, Colts fans. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, they are going to continue to battle it because I'm not quite sure they have any clue who's to give them the best chance of actually winning the game. And I think the reality is, Donnie, they're both going to play and probably play a lot this season in different spots here. But hey, listen, the reality is, they both looked competent, at least in this game here with Danny Dimes starting it and then Richardson coming in. So I think it's going to take one more game for these guys to be able to separate themselves. It should be interesting to see, though. Are you really not starting Anthony Richardson after you invested all that capital to go get him? You have to, right?
If he's healthy and the competition is somewhat even, and I'm not even like they're probably slanting it towards Anthony Richardson, like behind the scenes, Steichen's like, look, give Daniel Jones all the really bad football plays, give Anthony Richardson the really good plays that we have schemed up. Let's just see if he can convert and do some things. He has to start. You have to get finality on the guy. Either he can't play, he's too injured, or he's fantastic. You're going to know that. You know how you know it, Joe? By playing the guy. You don't know that by going like, hey man, he went up to the whiteboard in that meeting on Monday, really picked out that blitz. He's ready to start. Like, no, he has to do it on the football field and can't tap his helmet after a 32-yard run saying, Coach, I need a couple plays off. I need a breather here. Put him out there for better or for worse at this point here. Now, let's keep moving. Battle, New York City. You excited for that one? Did you watch the Gotham Challenge this weekend between the Giants and the New York Jets? 31-12, the New York Giants get that victory. 2-0 now in the preseason. We did see Russell Wilson, 4-7 out there, 108 yards, but he did throw an interception. We saw DJ Tommy DeVito also play. Jameis Winston chimed in, 6 of 11 with 110 yards, but there was Jackson Dart, efficient and with a touchdown. 14 of 16, $137, one touchdown, passer rating of 123.2. I look at this in the lens of, Joe, I have a team total from ESPN Bet to go over 3.5 for the New York Giants. The thing I was most worried about this season was, oh no, Russell Wilson struggles. We go to a rookie in week number 8. He looks terrible, and away we go. I'm not saying Jackson Dart is going to be the best player in the NFL this year if he becomes quarterback, but I'm seeing competency, and that is a big deal for a rookie quarterback.
Yeah. You know what? The other thing that I noticed watching that game, Donnie, unfortunately, I did watch it, and it was quite clear from the start, by the way, the Jets wanted to work on their running game because all they did for the first couple of series was run the ball, Brees Hall left, Braylon Allen right, and they just kept working the running game the entire time, right? So, but I'll say this. It's great for the Giants for the standpoint of, yes, Russell Wilson was clearly named the starter before anything, right? Heading into training camp.
Yes.
But Jackson Dart's play is pushing Russell Wilson to be better because Russ has looked the part much better than we've seen him over the last couple of years, certainly better than what we saw him at in Denver for certain here. So Jackson Dart continues to make Russell Wilson continue to push, and also Jameis Winston behind him also looked actually pretty good. But it's the reaction from the teammates. Like when Jackson Dart is on that field, I mean, he was 14 of 16, $137 and a touchdown. You can clearly see the players love this kid, Jackson Dart, and that's going to mean something at some point in the season. There is a very short leash on Russell Wilson. The team likes Dart, and if they respect him even as a rookie, then the Giants might have gotten the steal of the draft in a couple of years, Donnie.
You know, it's going to be interesting the way that this plays out because I think you just hit the nail on the head. The Giants' expectations, again, opened up at ESPN Bet, Joe, at 3.5 as a team total, which is unbelievable. Yep. It actually got bet up to 5.5, which it basically stands. It's not that the Giants have a bad football team. Their schedule is so outlandish, it's incredibly challenging. But also, like Russell Wilson entering into the season, what's the best part about the Giants this year? Can they get to, let's just say, 6 wins? That doesn't buy you time with a veteran quarterback in Russell Wilson. Like if Russell Wilson, again, the Giants shock the world, right? Hey, we open up 5-1 on the season and Russ is the quarterback. Well, then that changes things. But the Giants are probably going to open up 1-5 on the season. So then you start to say the fans are getting angry. They just want to see Dart. The ownership's like, hey, you know what? Maybe we make the right move with Russ here. But then you have self-preservation mode with the general manager and the head coach where it almost seems like it's inevitable. Midway through the season, it's going to have to be Jackson Dart. Otherwise, what are we doing, Giants?
Yeah. And listen, it's apparently this kid is very coachable. Because Dable loves him, they all love him, and the numbers are bearing out. I mean, you're talking about a guy, he averaged less than 2.3 seconds a throw. Rookies are always holding on to the ball too damn long, right? I mean, and he was one of them to start, but where he started and where he is now, it's clicking for him, Donnie. I mean, you can see the game is slowed down for this kid, and he's picking apart defenses and making the right reads. I don't think you get to week 5 or 6 before you see him. I think if the Giants start 0-2, 0-3, and you don't get the kind of performance you want from Russell Wilson, this kid's playing sooner rather than later this season.
Come on, give me the 4 wins, New York Giants. Other notable statistical matchups here from this past weekend. Cam Ward, 2 of 7, 42 yards. Things not looking great in that Atlanta Falcons game. The one thing I did watch a little bit was Dylan Gabriel. He did throw a pick 6, which not necessarily his fault. Maybe the guy ran the wrong route, jumped a nice play by Makuba for the Philadelphia Eagles, but he looked sharp. He was 13 of 18. He was throwing on the outs. He wasn't just, Joe, sometimes you see rookies hang out in the pocket and the guy's wide open so you'll hit him. He was throwing guys open. I liked what I saw of Dylan Gabriel. And then there's, Quinn Ewers 11 of 17 with 2 tutties as well this weekend.
Yeah, and he opened up. I mean, he marched the team down the field and put some points up on the board. He had a 8-minute touchdown drive that he in there. Listen, he made some stupid rookie mistakes, but it is what it is, right? I mean, the bottom line is Dylan Gabriel has got a lot of football under him here. He was, one of the older guys coming out, played a ton of college football. So I don't think the moment was too big for him. There's obviously a learning curve here. But Dylan, is there a lot separating Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel right now outside of their draft position?
No.
That's it, Donnie. That's it. There's nothing else separating them.
Nope. Other interesting ones. Ashton Ginty, 7 carries for 33 yards, gets back into positive for his rushing yards in the preseason. Also scored a touchdown. Justin Fields, quick cameo there, 1 of 5 for 4 yards. Stetson Bennett. And that's, you love yourself some Stetson Bennett out there.
I do.
28 of 43, 24, and 3 tutties. Are we having a quarterback controversy, huh?
I think he's your backup regardless there with the Rams. So, Jimmy G is not going to get it done there. But this kid is fearless, and you got to love what you're seeing from him. And he came back winning touchdown drive after throwing a costly interception. I like what we're getting from Stetson Bennett and the Rams backups here.
And Brock Purdy there, 5 of 7 for 66 yards. C.J. Stroud, 6 of 8 for 44 yards and a passing touchdown. And also Zach Wilson, 15 of 23 for $151 and a tutty out there. Backups trying to be backups to make teams as backup quarterbacks here. Some fun still left to be desired in week 3 of the preseason coming up. But let's talk Major League Baseball coming up next. Dodgers edition.
Need help with your NFL picks? Get NFL insider knowledge from Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, with Sick Picks at Sports Injury Central. We reveal hidden injury advantages the sports books miss. Our doctors provide insights, and our algorithm tells you who to bet on. Spreads, player props, totals, in-game bets, Sick Picks covers it all. Get a free week now with promo code SportsGrid at SickScore.com.
Vegas knows how to show love to our everyday heroes. So if you're a first responder, you are in for some perks. Lots of hotels and casino offer big discounts to any first responders who can show valid work or volunteer ID. So treat yourself to a discounted stay. You deserve it. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
It was already pretty solid up top, but you had the bottom that's that much better with Ryan O'Hearn and Lariano. Like, we now have a well-rounded lineup on top of a great pitching staff. Michael King is expected to start making his rehab starts. So you have him plus Pivetta plus Dylan Cease. You Darvish is back. You have the frontline pitching, the depth in the lineup, and now a great bullpen. You have it all.
I really like it. Like I do. Like sometimes I get caught up in the Padres because of what they can be.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid. This is the moment every fan waits for. The countdown's over. The road to kickoff has begun.
Play is here to stay.
I'm not going to name names, Kevin.
From win totals to player props, from division races to MVP debates, we've got eyes on every camp and data feeding 24/7, breaking down every angle across the league. Every pick, every edge, every line that matters. SportsGrid. Your road to kickoff starts now.
The NL West, Joe Ranieri, we might have thought that this was not going to be up in the air at any time during the regular season. Some people said, the Dodgers might be able to challenge the Seattle Mariners for most wins in Major League Baseball history, and away they go. One of the most powerful lineups / starting lineups / starting pitching / bullpen that we've seen coming into the year with an unbelievable payroll. Hasn't turned out that way, but the Dodgers are still playing very good baseball. 71 wins, 53 losses, and now find themselves 2 games ahead of the San Diego Padres. Coming into this pivotal 3-game series over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was actually thinking in my head, boy, what happens if we get a sweep from the San Diego Padres to say they're a 4-game lead here? Then we really start to worry about the Dodgers. Will the Dodgers certainly use that for fuel for fire? You know what? We're in second place now. This is unacceptable. A 3-game sweep for the Los Angeles Dodgers over the San Diego Padres. 3-2 on Friday night, 6-0 on Saturday, and a 5-4 victory yesterday. We saw the Dodgers get up to a 4-0 lead. Then all of a sudden, the Padres tie that up late in the game, and then the Dodgers prevail with a 1-run victory. They now sit 2 games back in first place, almost like, hold on, we're in second place? Yeah, let's make this right. And they did versus the Padres.
Yeah, and it starts with, well, the starters, right? I mean, Kershaw, Snell, and Glasnow, I think, combined to give up, 3 runs, 17 innings in their starts against the Padres. But also, the Dodgers finally got some contributions from other guys that have been MIA. Teoscar Hernandez, remember him? He still plays with the Dodgers. But apparently, we finally got something from him. Conforto. We got some, other guys stepped up in this series when it mattered most. That is great. But to me, it started with the starters. Those 3 guys set the tone for the rest of that series there on how it went. And they're going to need more of that moving forward.
There you go. I'm telling you, the one thing that you can always look at with the Dodgers was if they just stayed healthy and those superstar pitchers are coming back into that lineup and pitching well. That's where you measure up come the month of late September and into early October, because momentum in the playoffs, just like in the regular season, you're only as good as your next day starting pitcher. And if you're throwing out there Dustin May every, 5th day in the playoffs, that usually isn't going to work. But if you're throwing out a high-priced Glasnow, a Shohei Ohtani that's been stretched out, a Blake Snell, you can do damage with that team. And eventually they're going to get healthy and start hitting at the plate as well. But this was a huge, huge weekend for the Dodgers to climb back up into first place. Now, these numbers have been changing all the way through. And the way the Dodgers are priced, Joe, it still doesn't make sense, but it's just the way it is. Everybody's been betting the Dodgers. That's what the sports books say. And the minute they have a shot to take the Dodgers, the sports book's going to elevate those numbers to bet the Dodgers. You see the Dodgers now, minus 450 that we're going to show on this graphic. Most outlets now already up to a minus 475 to win the division. Like, you're giving them a respect, Joe. Like, they're up 5, 6, or 7 games. They're only up 2 games here. But it just felt like yesterday and the series was a shot across the bow saying, all right, Padres, you had your fun. Now we're going to take you out right here, get that lead, and never look back. But I still don't want to bet the Dodgers at a minus 475 price. And also the Padres. Yes, they did get swept. They were in first place coming into it. They're still a plus 350 price or so to win that division. Are you betting the Dodgers or the Padres in this scenario and how these price points?
Listen, it was a good, we still have 3 more games coming up, by the way. So, this was a great series, one, especially coming off of being swept by the Angels, which was hilarious. But this was a good series. It was a good series from a couple of fronts, is that your starting rotation was really good. But the other thing, then, my bugaboo here with the Dodgers is that bullpen. The relievers for the Dodgers, my goodness, 3 runs in 10 innings over the 3 games. And that's kind of why they were able to get it done. So if you keep getting that kind of production, the starters give way to the bullpen can hold it down. Dodgers are going to be tough, but they should be tough. But again, Manny Machado went 1 for 12 in this series. And I don't care who you are. The Padres aren't winning a lot of games against the Dodgers if Machado is nowhere to be found in them.
No, certainly can't help that. Other sweeps across Major League Baseball over this past weekend. The Yankees went and took on the Cardinals. They had a 3-0 sweep with a victory yesterday over Miles Michaelis. You also had the Braves getting hot at, I guess, the wrong time in a 3-0 series sweep over the Guardians. So the Guardians were trying to press the Detroit Tigers. That's certainly no longer the case. And then the Royals just, throw the bats out there, win some baseball games against the White Sox. They went 3-0. But it was a pretty good Major League Baseball set for a few different cities here. The Phillies scored 6 runs early yesterday in that 11:30 a.m. game. And before before you could blink, Washington had them on the ropes at 6-6. They win that, but a split with the Nationals, not really what you're looking forward to at that point. But some other good spots in the majors. The Athletics, a 2-1 series win there. You also saw Tampa Bay put the Giants away 2-1. 3-1 series victory for the Diamondbacks, a little bit too late, but also that one we look at the Brewers and the Reds. Yesterday was an interesting one because you had that huge win streak. 14 games in a row, Joe, for the Brewers coming into that one. But the Reds hadn't been swept the entire Major League Baseball season, and they still haven't. They had that extra innings comeback win, and they took that one as well.
Yeah, but not without, of course, a whole lot of drama once again. Instead of closing it out and winning 1-0, you end up, the bullpen comes in and gives up a 2-run home run in the top of the ninth to make it a 2-1, and then we got to go to extra innings. But I'm telling you right now, it was simply that the Brewers bullpen, all the back end guys had been used a lot over the last couple of days, so they didn't have anybody. They had one dude left, Anderson, that didn't pitch an awful lot, certainly not in high leverage situations. They just kept rolling him out there in the 9th and the 10th because they just didn't have anybody else. If they won it, great. If they didn't, so be it. But a good win for the Reds finally to bounce back and avoid the sweep. But again, are the Reds really catching the Mets, folks? Are they with that bullpen?
Probably not there. Orioles-Astros. The Orioles get a 2-1 series victory over the Stros. A lot left to be desired in that series. You had Javier yesterday get blown up, and they got smoked on a Sunday. You also had a game where Framber Valdez started. I'm not even sure that – you know what? They didn't. The Astros didn't score in that game and also got no hit / almost perfect game from a tomato can on the mound. So things aren't looking great. Yordan Alvarez hopefully gets back into that lineup sooner than later. But a lot of interesting topics across Major League Baseball, Joe, in the next segment that we are going to hit on. But it was kind of interesting, like the Little League type games. I'm waiting for the Field of Dreams game to come back in Major League Baseball. Is that on for next year? Like, I just like the setting. I just like the pageantry. Bring me back to cornfields.
The problem is nobody can get to the game, Donnie. That was the problem, is that it's not like bustling hotels downtown Corn, USA. Like it was, you had to drive 2 hours to get there. So, yeah, I don't think we're going back anytime soon.
I mean, they show up to Nebraska football games, right? They all live in the children of the corn out there. Show up in the middle of the field and watch a baseball game the way you can, too. Zach Wheeler, who's up on deck. Not good for the Phillies.
Nope.
Can't get thrown out like that. You just can't.
It's the only thing he's good at is yelling at umpires.
Yeah.
Other than that, he has no feel for the game, no grasp for the game, no idea how to manage a bullpen, no idea how to write up a lineup card. He certainly has no feel for high leverage spots and who to bring in. Devin Williams. There's nothing he does well other than scream and yell at the umpires.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
Tigers aren't out of first place. They're still in first place, Tom, by 5 games over the Cleveland Guardians. But you see, like, last 10 games, Detroit Tigers 5-5. Last 10 games, Guardians. Winners of 9 of 11 games, winners of 5 straight games. They're only 5 back now than the Kansas City Royals, sitting at 8.5 back. The Detroit Tigers, so much fun this year, but now facing adversity with a month and a half left in the season.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
He is not Derrick Henry. He is not one of those special backs in that sense. A really good one that's been outstanding in fantasy for quite some time. But you can also hear the buzz recently about it being more of a split backfield. And if that's so, then Aaron Jones' value takes a hit, Jordan Mason's value goes up, and there's an opportunity at some point, if Aaron Jones misses time, where you can see Jordan Mason take that backfield over.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
The Yankees have an 80.7% chance of still making the playoffs. That just tells you that parity is alive and well in Major League Baseball, where mediocre teams can still make the playoffs, and the Yankees are mediocre but have above mediocre talent. So if they can put it together, you still got an 80% chance of playing postseason baseball.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Donnie right side and Joe Ranieri. Monday morning, it's hype time. It's Major League Baseball. We got a pretty good slate again today on a Monday. Thank you, Major Leagues, for not disappearing on a Monday. That we need you, because as soon as we start to creep in, I know a lot of people are like this, Joe. And see, look, I love baseball more than the guys, right to the right and left typically. But once we hit like September 1st, oh, man, I got to break down a Major League Baseball game today because we get so excited for college football and the NFL because it comes at you in waves. Tons of games in college, 15 games a week in the NFL, and then away you go into that regular season. But there are some big deals that are coming up here, including Zach Wheeler of the Philadelphia Phillies. On the 15-day IL with a blood clot. We were led to believe that it was a little bit of shoulder discomfort. Now it might be the blood clot. We don't really have a lot of answers. It doesn't seem like the Phillies are all that concerned in a way like, oh no, blood clot sits him down for the rest of the year. I don't know when he's coming back, but I haven't gotten the sense like he's not coming back. So it's one of those to certainly keep an eye on because the Phillies' strength is their starting pitcher. They got Aaron Nola back. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But Zach Wheeler down on the 15-day IL in the minute of a run by maybe the Mets could try to chase you down. He's your ace on the staff. That's never a good sign, Joe.
It's not. And if they don't, they have to understand where the blood clot came from and why the blood clot showed up. So, but, the problem is, that doesn't happen overnight, Donnie. I mean, and this is a scary situation for him because they got to get him on either some sort of blood thinner or we've seen this before in athletes, and it's not all right, well, we'll see. He's going to miss one start. We'll get him back in there. They're not going to be rushing him back until they are 100% sure that the clot is no longer there and they can figure out what caused it to begin with. That may not happen right away here.
No, and that could be a problem. Hey, you get Aaron Nola back. He's got a 6-0 lead. This might be the easiest Phillies game of the year. Yeah, Aaron Nola, welcome back. 2 1/3 innings pitched, 6 earned runs in his first start back. Just want to say, okay, I'll take over for you, Zach Wheeler. So you get bad information on Zach Wheeler. It's like, oh, he's down 15 days. But Aaron Nola comes back and looks like the Nola that the Phillies didn't want, but they signed him long-term and hopefully works his way back. But that's not a good sign for the Phillies. That Nola got crushed yesterday early morning, it felt like.
No, it was 11:30 Eastern time in the morning that game started. And before I knew it, there were more. It felt like a preseason football game. And I said, we're going to get more runs in this game than we're going to get points in the Jacksonville and Saints game here. And my goodness, Nola looked like he was out there in a rehab start, just trying to figure some things out. That's kind of what it looked like. But the good news is they were taking on Parker and the Nats, who were definitely playing batting practice for most of that game.
I'll tell you, it's funny because your mindset changed. Like, the closer that comes in a tie game or like you're down a run, it's like, well, this isn't, I usually come in a high leverage situation where I got to just get 3 guys out and we win this game. Like Nola comes in, it's like, hey, before I can blink, like I got a 6-0 lead. It's like, oh, let me just throw strikes and get out of here. That didn't work all that well, but we'll see what happens in the future. The Phillies get the 2-2 split with the Nats and move on. The Cincinnati Reds, though, they did something that a lot of teams in Major League Baseball couldn't do over the past couple of weeks. That was beat the Milwaukee Brewers. They had a 1-0 lead heading into the 9th inning. And of course, you got a 2-run home run in the top of the 9th inning by Milwaukee. Oh, look at that, 15 in a row. Credit the Reds for staying in the game, scoring in the bottom of the 9th and then in the bottom of the 10th inning, ending that 14-game win streak, which was something where I wanted to see it get into the 20s, Joe.
Yeah, but listen, the new day, new opportunity for a new streak. But what's amazing to me, Donnie, is that these past 2 weeks for the Brewers, they have also managed to kind of put away the Cubs in that division all over this winning streak. So they're winning games left and right. The Cubs are playing 500 ball. They're losing ground each and every day. And just like that, in 2 weeks, the Cubs are now 8-9 games behind the Brewers. This is a big series coming up this week.
Certainly is. The New York Mets do win the 2025 Little League Classic here in big fashion. Also, a couple home runs in that game, which include the big dumper in a loss, went yard again in front of the kids. But George Kirby in that game, I thought he probably would have a pretty good performance, better than Clay Holmes. That wasn't the case. Really good performance yesterday out of the Mets and their starting pitching staff. And their bats came alive against a quality pitcher.
Yeah, it was not good for Kirby. And it hadn't been good this week for the Mariners at all. So outside of that win on Friday, not looking good here over the last couple of games for Seattle on what is a pretty long East Coast road trip.
Absolutely. And also, how about those New York Yankees with a sweep over the St. Louis Cardinals? Maybe that jump starts their second half of the season, which we've been waiting, New York. This was a team that was supposed to win that division, possibly going away. Now struggling a bit, but getting those good times back in baseball heaven, Joe, as they call it for the Cardinals. Fans aren't showing up. Fans aren't happy. Teams playing poorly. Never thought that would happen there. Top of the hour up next. Let's talk to the public. Hey, the public.